welcome to another episode of Business Roaches, our podcast where we talk about all things entrepreneurship, the messy middle, as we call it, because when you start a business, you know, there's a lot of standard advice, but
it's fucking hard.
Yeah, it's hard. But the middle, before you're like a success story, there's a lot of crap that happens in the middle, and that's what we're here to talk about because we're kind of living it. We've experienced a lot of it.
And we can help.
Yeah, and we can help. And we get a lot of questions on our Instagram.
Yeah. Like
from
tons.
Friends who are starting businesses or just like other people that we've met in our network starting businesses. So
Okay, so what's our prompt today?
Well, today it's not really an advice thing, but I think it'll turn into advice. It's a pretty cool idea. I asked ChatGPT to come up with a Would You Rather Founder Edition.
Oh God. Okay.
So I'm going to ask you
Okay.
the Would You Rathers. Okay.
And just so you know, growing up, we used to play this game all the time. We just had, I'll tell like a 2-second backstory to what Would You Rather. We had a piano teacher who had the smelliest house in the world because she had a lot of ferrets, and we did not want to go there ever. We did not, like, I quit piano because I couldn't stand the smell. So in the car ride over, we'd always play, would you rather have a sleepover at Carol Cohen's or would you rather eat poop? And we would always do the latter.
I like how that's your thought of would you rather, whereas like, because you went to art school, I went to Maryland. And
is it like drinking and fun?
Yes. Would you rather you normally ask like sexual or like other questions?
I've never, no, I don't think I've ever played like that. No.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyone's gone to a big state school, like, you know.
Yeah, my school, it was a private, beautiful art school in Manhattan, so we didn't play those kind of rough games.
She was drinking wine at a gallery opening while we were just playing Would You Rather with like Natty Light.
It was $2 Chuck though.
Yeah, well. Okay, well this Would You Rather is, I guess, you know, it's interesting. So let's look at it. Okay, so the first one from ChatGPT, would you rather raise $10 million from VCs who hate your vision or raise nothing but keep full control?
Nothing but keep full control.
I mean,
we've done that.
That's literally our story.
That's literally what we've done.
So that's an easy one.
That's pretty easy.
Okay, get 1 million users who never pay or 100 users who pay $1,000 a month.
Obviously the latter.
Well, it's because it's $1 million. Do you want $1 million to show that you have interest?
So there's different ways of monetizing that too. You could
monetize
because then
you
ads,
could sell it. Exactly. But that's the whole thing. Right now, today, would you want right now, would you want 1 million people on our website? And then you can, again, what's the story and narrative you have with that, or how do you monetize that? Do you capture their list? Oof. Now we're thinking too deeply about it, but or 100 users who pay $1,000 a month.
100 users pay $1,000. Honestly, that's a lot. That's like
but I think
it's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
Like,
I think it depends.
Like 100 a month.
I think right now, like based on our experience, I think we're like PTSD. I'd rather the latter, just for like let's prove the case, and then we'll figure out how to grow it later.
But that's also like a big. I mean, people make that mistake all the time. They think that they don't need revenue. They don't need they just need the idea, and that's like not true. You do need revenue.
Well, it's hard, right? Because in some industries, you do just start with the idea, and like you know, so that's
when you raise.
Well, that's why we've been prompted with this because it is an actual would you rather. I think today, I'd say I'd rather 100 users who are paying because then you can tell a better story.
But we are like, how many years into this are we?
7.
We're past the 1 million users for a great idea.
Yeah,
we're let's fucking make some money.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's just us. But
I think probably in the beginning it would be like 1 million.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's like the beginning, all we cared about was revenue. It was like, what's that top revenue number to prove that this is a real thing, that we can make money, you know, so whatever. But anyway, it's an interesting one. Okay, would you rather be the first to market and fumble or come in late but polished?
First to market, fumble.
Yeah, I agree.
No one does that. That's why. Like, you just be the first, then we were the first build a box.
Yeah.
We were not polished.
Yeah.
But we were the first.
Yeah, it's better to be first than be polished for sure.
Then you have fast followers. That's like, I mean, I remember everyone used to copy our ideas. Yeah. They used to steal our cards, our card designs.
Yeah, the products we would pick.
The products. Yeah. It was so flattering and so frustrating, but so flattering.
Yeah. But I think it's better to be fast. And
first, because you the thing is, you're never done. Like, we are like always building, always polishing. So like the idea that you're going to be done is like, just throw that out the window. I think actually that's what I did learn at my Manhattan art school. You're just not done. Yeah. And that's okay. You just have to, it has to be like good enough and like learn and just keep going.
Yeah. And I think that's before we started Happy Box, like right at the beginning of Happy Box, before, like when it was like Etsy, like when it was like really new, like not even, I wouldn't even call that a side hustle. It was like really just like us testing.
Yeah.
I read The Lean Startup, which was a book that was all about MVP and like lean methodology. And that was so ingrained in me.
Yeah.
It was more for tech, but we were inadvertently building a tech company. We didn't really know we were building a tech company at the time, but yeah, anyone interested in starting, definitely read Lean Startup. It's just it like sets you up for the minimum viable product idea.
Yep.
And if you've never been to business school, you don't need it. Just read that book.
You don't need business school. You heard it here first.
No, if you start a business, you don't need business school. Trust me.
That's true.
Okay, would you rather build something you love that flops or something you hate that scales?
Something you hate that scales. Definitely. Because there's nothing more fun than making money.
Okay.
That's true. There's nothing more fun than watching people purchase your product.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the product you set out to make, because we set out for a build your own care package. Now we're
consumer gifting.
Consumer gifting. We were like, this is gonna be so fun, like
so cute.
Yeah, so fun. Our moments are gonna be like your pitch in the beginning was millennial women spend.
Yeah, they spend more money in gifting throughout the year than even at the holidays. Yeah.
They spend like 9 times, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was a crazy
They
stat.
gift like 13 times a year.
So we were like, oh, consumer, women, millennials, la la la. And now we're like, corporate should be fun. Like corporate gifting should be fun. Swag should be better. Like we can actually help you show appreciation. There's so many technologically, interesting ways to gift rather than shitty care packages.
Yeah.
So,
and I think this is interesting because this goes back to like why you're an entrepreneur. Like for me, I like the process of building more than I like what we're actually building, if that makes sense. Like it's not about, like I never was born to be like a gift company. Like I always loved gifting. Like, you know, I always loved, like gifting was definitely my love language. I loved thinking of creative gift ideas. That was always in me. But I'm an entrepreneur first. And so for me, it's like, I like the process of creating and building. That for me is more rewarding than like the idea I love, if that makes sense, and it's funny. I've talked to people.
There's so many problems to solve.
Yeah. Problem solving.
Find something you love in something that's successful.
I think if you're an entrepreneur, because there are people like, I think of I think of a few friends, Tori, she has talked to me about how like, she's more interested in, she doesn't want to be the entrepreneur. She wants to like, be like run the business and operational, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't want to have the idea.
A lot of people are like
that. There are people who are like that and they
execute
enjoy that.
The idea.
They want to believe in the idea, but they don't necessarily want to be the one that's like the owner of the idea or create the, they don't have the idea necessarily. Whereas I feel like I like the idea and the problem solving to get there more than I like running the day to day, if that makes sense. I think that's more exciting for me. And I feel like in a startup you're constantly creating, so
it's hard because like now we're in such a place where like I'm helping operationalize the business, which is like not what I thought what I was gonna do or what I'm have been successful.
But we have to now.
But we have to. So but now I love it. I'm in it.
It's like problem solving.
It's problem solving. So I think it's just like being an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter the service. It doesn't really matter. Just like if you love the process, then it's gonna be. You're gonna find something.
But I do think that's interesting because I wonder if we were to interview someone who is like really passionate about the idea they created. I guess that's really hard because then when you do have to pivot, that's very painful.
That's why people don't pivot and they don't succeed.
Because I'm just thinking of like a cosmetics company, like you know what I mean, like someone who like was like obsessed with lipstick and they started a lipstick brand. Like, do you know what I mean? Like for us,
think about it differently though. We met this guy who you will remember his name. I don't remember, but he started a clothing brand for kids who. In the hospital when they have to do IVs, they have to do all like sick kids. Yeah, that is something to be passionate about and to like throw yourself into. But I think like when you have like a consumer good, I think that's hard to be like really passionate. I mean, we're not changing lives here.
Yeah, but I think we're very
realistic about it.
Yeah, I think we're like that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you were like. So that it would be interesting to interview like someone like him,
He would absolutely say
he's passionate about what he did
because
he's doing
is important.
Yeah.
I mean, what we do is important, but it's it's like gifts.
Yeah, he has like more of a social good element, I guess. But
next,
okay, would you rather take money from an investor you morally oppose or miss payroll for 3 months?
Oh fuck.
I'd rather take money from an investor.
I would never want to fuck over
payroll. Yeah, that's just too. We've been delayed from glitches and stuff, and I hated it. No, I mean, we make it up.
People rely on
payroll.
No, I would never mess with payroll.
Yeah. Okay.
That's sad.
Would you rather get acquired for $20 million with strings or stay independent with $1 million annual revenue? Depends what the strings are.
I know. How thick are these strings?
Yeah. How many strings?
Are we talking like fishing wire? Or are we talking like rope?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
20
probably.
million. It's kind of weird because it's like Chad doesn't know what our revenue is, so it's kind of a weird.
Yeah, I'm like definitely the former because the latter is not a lot.
Yeah. But even the former is not like a lot for an acquisition. So it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know that
Skip.
this one.
Neither.
I guess the idea
I'd rather
is,
go to Carol Cohen.
Would you rather get acquired for your dream number? Let's do that.
Okay.
But with strings or stay indie with it. To be honest with you,
I need to read the terms and conditions.
Yes, yeah, due diligence.
Yeah.
But I also think that like no matter what, an acquisition is going to come with strings probably that we're not like thrilled about. So I feel like I'd probably the former than stay with $1 million in revenue. But
yeah.
I
think also if you're looking to be acquired, then you're going to take the acquisition. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be like, oh, let me keep.
Yeah, this is hard. I wish it was like scaled for our business. I should have asked. I should have been like, okay, this is our revenue numbers. Now redo this question. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
That would change everything.
Okay.
They would know too much.
I know. Okay, next. Would you rather run paid ads that work but make you cringe or stick to organic and grow slow?
This is so obvious.
I
The
know.
first one. We do cringe shit all the time. We're doing it right now. No, but cringe shit that works.
Yeah.
Always. You're a business owner. You have to put yourself out there. You have to run the ad. I'm in all of our ads. It's extremely embarrassing, but it's what you got to do. Some of them are successful. Some of them are not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But some of them are, and they run forever.
Yeah. It's crazy. Actually, it's so funny being on a client call. They're like, I know you.
Yeah. That's like the funnest. I
know.
love that.
Okay. Well, this is kind of similar, I guess. Well, not really, but okay. Would you rather go viral for the worst possible reason or be brilliant and ignored? I'd rather be brilliant and ignored. No,
Well, what's the worst reason? I
I don't know. Probably something horrible, like.
Well, I don't want to like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do not. This question is: do you believe in is good publicity or is
bad publicity? Any publicity good publicity?
Yeah, and I, as a ex-PR person, no. Like, not all publicity
I'll
is
take
good
your
publicity.
word for it. I'll take the latter.
Absolutely not. Like PR 101. Okay. Would you rather?
We're on the first page.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna.
We'll do quick. Let's do quick.
I got you guys. Don't worry.
Would you rather be mistaken for your competitor constantly or have no one know who you are?
That's basically the same thing.
No, be mistaken for your competitor constantly or like no one knows you at all, like you're not found.
But we're not. Like no one knows us because they think
No one knows you, I guess, either way.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be mistaken for a competitor constantly.
we are all the time. What?
What?
No.
Is
We
mistaken?
used to be.
Yeah, we're not mistaken for competitors.
No. You're right. Okay.
It's actually very clear that we're not our competitor. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we're way better.
okay, would you rather be called a girl boss in every article or have no press at all?
Girl boss.
Yeah, call me girl boss.
Talk about PR.
That's not
That's
bad
bad PR.
It's
It's just-
tangentially bad. It's not bad.
It's like
watch
just-
our other episode about girl bosses.
Go ahead, do it.
Would you rather lose your star employee to a competitor or keep them and they quietly sabotage you? Lose them.
Get out of here. Saboteur? No.
Okay,
Please.
this is a funny one for us. Would you rather run your company solo with total peace or have a brilliant but chaotic co-founder?
Brilliant but chaotic.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
It's like I feel
have that.
I do feel bad for people. Well, I don't feel
You are
bad for people.
chaotic in so many ways, and then I am too, but just different.
Yeah, different ways.
You have like you are very buttoned up, and it is stressful.
Painful for you.
It is because I do not give a shit
How many
about.
times yesterday I was talking one of our employees about legal process. I was like, Ariel will
like,
say this, but
whatever.
this is how we do it.
And literally every time
Ariel
I
will
have the
say
same
this doesn't
conversation. When Hannah was covering for me, I just had my second baby, and I had to brief my team saying, "You're going to be working with Hannah a lot more. Here's what to expect. She's extremely buttoned up."
I won't forget things.
Yeah. And now I'm a month out, or a month past giving birth, and they're all like, "Oh my God, like she doesn't forget anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, good luck."
Yeah. Did you save everything in the shared drive?
Yeah, I don't even do that, but
Yeah, I don't think you know where the shared drives are.
I don't even know.
So,
I don't know.
yeah. Well,
But
our
what
team
am I
knows.
good at? Tell me what I'm good at. I'm brilliant in some ways. Tell the team. Tell the viewers.
You're good at getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
You're good at creative problem solving. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're good at operational. You're more organized than you think you are.
I'm
You're
really
just-
organized. I just
No, you know what you're good at? We always talk about this, but the ways of working are different. Like you're able, you say, I would say able to.
I also don't forget anything.
I'm not saying you forget anything, but you're very like, you can jump from thing to thing. Whereas like, if I am like, I'm going to focus on this task right now, I can't jump from like one thing to the other so quickly. Like I have to, obviously in this business you have to.
I think what you're saying is I have severe ADD.
Maybe.
But in business, that is like a superpower.
Yeah.
I only do what I'm really interested in. So if I'm not interested in it, I don't fucking do
like
it.
legal.
I don't care. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I don't think someone's going to sue us.
And like I say, my healthy dose of anxiety is always thinking someone's going to sue us. So I am
it's literally
making sure
the exact opposite.
That whatever you create and come up with is backed with some sort of contract or some sort of agreement, so we don't ever get sued. But God, knock on wood, knock on all the wood in this place. But okay, so we agree with that. We would rather have a brilliant but chaotic co-founder.
We have that.
It exists. Okay, would you rather work 16-hour days but feel alive, or 4-hour days but feel meh? I mean, 16-hour days. We've done it. We do it. Yeah. So okay. There's a few more that hit all your goals but cry weekly, or miss your goals but sleep like a baby. God, I'd rather hit my goals and cry.
Don't we do that?
Do we? We don't cry anymore.
No,
we're not crying right now. God,
no. That was hard. I was
we have
back.
We have cried. We have cried daily.
Cried daily
and
hit goal and miss goals.
Yeah, I know. So
that's being an entrepreneur. You miss goals and you cry daily.
Sometimes you miss goals. Sometimes you cry a lot. That's just being an entrepreneur.
That's fun. Definitely start your own business. No, you should just
No, like do it though.
Definitely
do it. But you might cry. Would you rather take a sabbatical and lose momentum, or power through and risk burnout?
Power through and risk burnout. But that's because we're millennials, actually.
Yeah,
we power through and we burn out.
Yeah, I'm worried about this next generation of entrepreneurs that you have to power through 99% of the time. Our whole podcast is about being surviving and being a roach. You will burn out. We've talked about this. You will burn out. Prepare for the burnout. Prepare for the burnout. That's what you have to do, because it will happen if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're self-funded. You with millions of dollars and you've investors. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
you have different stress. We have a different kind of stress than you guys, but you will burn out, and you just have to prepare for the burnout.
And no stress is better than the other. That's what we have to tell our toddlers. They're just different stresses.
Yeah. Okay, there's one more. Would you rather pitch in front of 300 people with your deck missing slides, or realize mid-call your mic was muted the whole time?
Oh God, they're both
stupid, because the pitch in front of 300 people with your desk missing slides, I could totally recover from that. Yeah, like.
The mute, do I have a chance to go back?
Yeah, the mute is weird, because then you just look like you don't know how to use
the first
computer.
Because we could just,
one
tech company not knowing how to mute is...
I am not scared of presenting, neither are you, in front of 1,000 people. Doesn't matter, because we both presented in front of hundreds of people. That's not a problem.
I don't know how many people I've presented in front of.
Really?
I don't know. You would think I'd be... I mean, I see, I feel like the most stress is almost like less people. I feel like a lot of people, you're kind of like lost, like you don't have to focus on... anyone.
I don't know.
But think about like a pitch room with like 5 execs. That's like, I feel like that's the
stakeholders, like whoever's on the line. Well, it sounds like this is like a pitch deck. So this is us pitching like for an acquisition, pitching for a partnership, pitching for an investor. That is, but missing slides in the deck would suck, but you should know your numbers. You should know your stuff enough if you're at this place that, like, my whole thing about presenting, you know this, I've said this a million times. I mean, my old job, I used to present to hundreds of people at a time. And like, when you present, you know what you're saying. You're the expert. And if you position it in your head, nothing's really scary. The people in the audience are listening because you're the expert. So if there's no slide in the deck, who gives a fuck? Just make it up.
Yeah, they won't know.
They don't know what's the next slide.
I guess the worst part would be if you don't know your shit and you don't know the deck.
That would be... If you're relying on your slides and don't have them.
Yeah, like if you're like... No, if you're...
That's scary, but... Yeah.
Like if we were pitching Happy Box and like we didn't have the deck, it was fine. At some point I'd turn it off. I'd be like, all right, listen.
We don't need this crap behind me. Yeah.
Enjoy the
exactly. Yeah, that's the best part about presenting when you're like out of school.
You know it,
like when you're in school, presenting is terrifying because you're presenting some shit you don't care about. You know.
Yes.
But when you're presenting your own ideas at work or at whatever, or like when I used to present as like a social strategist, like I knew my shit.
Yeah.
So it was just
really hard when you have to use other people's words.
But I hate that. Own, when it's your own thing. So anyway, that's it. So that was fun. We should ask chat for some like new ones maybe next time.
Or even like mom shit too. We should get some like mom shit.
Yeah, we should do Would You Rather again. Make it a series.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Well, we have to do our win of the week.
I know. That's what's next. So every week we talk about a win of the week because entrepreneurship is hard. So we believe, and we've talked to lots of co-founders about this and founders, that like you need to celebrate every little win, even if it's tiny, because every win in entrepreneurship is a blessing. It's awesome. So what's our win of the week? Do you have one? Oh my God, Monday.com.
Yeah, actually, this is not sponsored. I just want to say that because
unless you want to
sponsor us, but
that was
I'm
a
about
weird
to
wink.
gush about Monday.com. I don't know. We have just really figured it out and like figured out that's kind of like the key to project management at our company. And like, I'm really excited about it. So I'm scratching the surface, and like I said earlier, we're like working on operationalizing and, just figuring out how we all work together. We have a lot of remote employees, a lot of in-person employees. There's a lot of connection that has to happen. And honestly, it's been so helpful. There's some limitations that I like wish were better, but I think like a project management software plus tech like that we have like development in-house, like we are going to be dangerous in like another month. But
so our win is like really operationalizing some of our processes internally. Yeah. And I think we're at that point. I mean, we talked about this, but there's like certain revenue numbers, certain number of team members that you need to like really operationalize your business. Yeah. And we are at that. And I think we're one of those moments. And I think that's a big win that we're actually starting to truly focus on the operations of the business.
And I would say the win is that we're less focused on revenue.
And crisis.
That's like, actually forget about Monday.com. Sorry, you don't need to sponsor us. But literally the fact that we are actually pivoting to internal processes is such a huge win for any sort of startup, because we have been so new biz focused. Well, new biz, revenue, we need to get revenue in, we need to do secure new business, blah, blah. Like all of that has been such a focus. And now that's kind of just happening, which is really nice. It's not happening because we are lucky. We have worked our asses off. But, now we can kind of pivot and say, with so all these amazing new clients, like how do we make it better for them, and how do we keep them, and for our team to make it better for them as well. So and also we want to scale with, I think, fewer people. That's like what the goal is. Keep it lean.
Keep it tight.
We've had a lot of employees before, and we've also had fewer employees, so we understand the sweet spot, which is maybe another episode.
But I think that's the point. It's that's the win. The operationalizing, the focus of operationalizing and kind of turning inward to what's going to make our business run smoothly for ourselves and for our clients.
So we can scale and get more business, and
and we do feel fortunate enough to get to that place, because that took a while.
Yeah.
And we've done it here and there, but we're at a place finally where I feel like we're feeling really good. So win of the week. Well, tune in next time for more fun would you rather, some entrepreneurship questions and discussions that we have, and that lots of questions that we get.
Yes.
We pull our most common questions on DMs and email and stuff like that, all about entrepreneurship as well. So thanks for joining us at Business Roaches. Tune in next time.